Another day, another dollar. Another dollar more than what this Snow White remake is going to be making at the box office. I mean, holy crap. It's a disaster of epic proportions, and we are so close. I can practically smell it. And no, I'm not just saying that because you take a look at, Rachel Zegler, and she is not convincing and looks like somebody who would just end up smelling like antidepressants and bad choices. But inside Disney's Snow White troubles, they need to get this over with. Oh boy, that's what insiders at Disney are talking about? Is this how bad things really are? I mean, everybody in the grander sphere, okay, everybody who's talked about this already knows that they need to get this over with. Okay, there's a reason that they're really pushing that Lilo and Stitch stuff very hard, because honestly, I checked out that trailer and I made mention of it yesterday. I forget what video it is. If you can find the reference, here's a couple of Dawn bucks for you. They don't account for anything, but hey, they're about as worthwhile as Rachel Zegler's career prospects moving forward. But that trailer looks pretty fine. I'd imagine Lilo and Stitch is going to make a boatload of money. And then also for live action remakes this year, you got Moana coming out at the end of the year. That's also going to make a lot of money. But this one right here, I think, man, it's going to land somewhere between the Marvels and Captain Black Falcon America, man. I would be shocked if it makes much more than $300 million. And I wouldn't be surprised if this makes less than the Marvels. But yeah, all of the tracking that's out there, this thing just, it's teetering on the edge of catastrophe. And yeah, can't wait. But now all of its premieres have been canceled or severely scaled back. Rachel Zegler must have a restraining order against the media because she's not allowed within 500 yards of a hot mic. She is simply going around the world, okay, outside the confines of the United States media, and she's singing in front of castles, belting out a tune, and then just being politely clapped off stages. It's like, why are we letting this vagabond? Should I throw quarters at her or something like that? Like, how do we get her to disappear? But yeah, she's a decent enough singer. She's an atrocious actor and a huge egomaniac. And for the many reasons that we pointed out over the years of covering this, this film has nothing going for it. Okay, abominable CGI, mainstream distaste, and a cast that just cannot carry that material. And now that people are finally coming around to Gal Gadot, I don't care, man. Her just being one of the worst actresses in history of people just once again simping for an untalented bitch because they make her dick do, we're not talking about Michelle Obama, they make your dick do a couple of weird things. They give you tingles down below. Doesn't excuse the fact that she delivers everything like it came straight out of a Home Depot. Ben Shapiro should be carrying her performance around in a plastic fucking bag. It's that bad. She is that wooden. Kal-El, no, give me the stone. We played the reel. She's so bad. And this right here, man. Okay, like I said before, it's been 14 years since I've been to the theater. Dark Knight Rises was the last film that I seen in the theaters. If it's this bad, I don't know, man. It's pushing me. Like for good and honest reasons, I was looking forward to Joker 2. I know in hindsight that looks absolutely ridiculous, but those trailers, man, they were looking pretty good. Okay, I stand by that. Those trailers were pretty damn good. It's unfortunate about that film and the whole everything surrounding that, but this time around, man, like these Snow White trailers, they are, even if it wasn't controversial, if it wasn't for Rachel Zegler just being one of the most detestable human beings alive, like those trailers would get rightfully ratioed. Like the Lilo and Stitch one, like Stitch looks very convincing. I got some gripes with them, but overall pretty heartfelt, and it also has the the cute little dogs sort of appeal to it. So that's gonna have, like, that film's gonna make, I would be shocked if it doesn't make $1 billion. But Snow White, I don't know how bad this is going to get, but apparently, yeah, like we said before, at Disney, yeah, even they know what's up. Disney's Snow White won't hit theaters until March 21st. Well, that's not entirely true because you've already had your, scaled back premieres, and realistically, you can get tickets on Thursday for early previews so that, Disney and Hollywood in general, like, they're trying all the tricks in the book, besides hiring people in a writer's room with talent and creating stars. Like, they're doing everything creative to make their box office look more appealing Because what's even more pathetic is now they're comparing it to, and I don't know if they do that in this article, but in looking at other ones that are out there, oh, the way that Snow White is tracking, it's on pace to be leagues behind The Little Mermaid and on pace with, what is it, like Cinderella back in 2014. Like, just totally disregarding inflation or just your average ticket price going absolutely through the roof. So when you chop things up, you realize that, oh boy, there are significantly fewer people in these theaters. And if you're trying to draw a comparison to 10, 15 years ago movies, you're looking extra dire. But yes, Disney's Snow White won't hit theaters until March 21st, and the team at the Mouse House and the date can't come soon enough. The female skewing a live action event pick. Remember when Disney just used to make films that were appealing to everyone? And I wonder if they're ever gonna, Hollywood Reporter, if they're ever gonna dredge out that description for anything else moving forward. Remember, the female skewing live action event pick, which is the same thing that you can very likely say about most Disney fare. And even if it isn't, and it's still under the Disney umbrella, like, you're trying to make it female, like what you've done with Star Wars, sticking bland brunettes in everything during your reign, or swapping out popular superheroes and Marvel and making them unlikable females. We know exactly why you're doing that. You're trying to appeal to the demographic of people with the most expendable income, but in reality, it's not working, and that's why you have to get so adversarial with the public. Very strange. But yes, which remakes Walt Disney's cherished 1937 animated classic. Well, it's cherished by the public, just not so much by Rachel Zegler, because it's very dated, evidently. So, it has been under fire for years on social media. Yeah, that's crazy, because that's actually accurate. All the way back in 2023 when we seen that first round of set pictures. Interesting. Star Rachel Zegler's controversial comments. Which ones? Okay. Also suffering from culture war attacks that seemingly doggedly determined to torpedo the perceived woke film no matter what. Oh my god, cry me a fucking river. It's not Rachel Zegler's comments, it's Rachel Zegler. And it's so funny, right? Because, oh, my culture warriors, you're gonna go ahead and blame them when you guys are losing, but when you were riding high, oh, you angry chuds out there, you can't do anything. Oh, look at Captain Marvel. It was an outright success. Oh, you bigots couldn't stop TLJ from making, $1.7 billion. Now that the shit's hit the fan, now what are you gonna do? Did all of those culture warriors who hated Barbie for its overt feminist narrative stop it from being the highest grossing film of last year? I'm sorry, of 2023. But all of these dates are just running together. It's funny, right? Kind of like whenever, women need agency, depending on the story, the way that it's written, either the anti-woke crowd is super powerful and highly influential, or otherwise they're just angry man babies living their incel lives, just fecklessly wailing about my progress. Anyways, as a result, Disney is handling the movie's rollout in some unique ways. Well, when you put it that way, in news that broke earlier this week, Disney is taking next-level measures to stage manage the film's world premiere in Los Angeles on March 15th. While the event won't be scaled back, and here we're going to explain how it has been scaled back. As some headlines claimed, the studio isn't allowing regular red carpet press to attend in order to prevent Zegler and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, from answering questions on the spot. It's not scaled back, but we're just scaling back the event. The studio's position is that they opted for a more celebratory, family-friendly afternoon event to match the tone and target audience for this film. Okay, cool. If you wanted to do that, how does that preclude the media from attending? Just wondering. Why does Disney care about being family friendly? Because I thought this film was supposed to be female skewing. Interesting. Snow White isn't the first major film to manage a red carpet in such a restricted way. Warner Brothers did much the same for the world premiere of The Flash, starring Ezra Miller. Yeah, but Miller had been accused of several criminal acts, whereas Zegler, is not accused of anything because we have it in her words on film and in print. So I never thought that we would see the day that somebody is more guilty than Ezra Miller and could be more detrimental to the overall performance of their film than the non-binary, interstate, globe-trotting criminal. Wow. I guess that's one accolade that you can put forward to Rachel Zegler. Congratulations. But yes, supporting Palestine, slamming Donald Trump. Oh, no, it wasn't just slamming Donald Trump. All of his supporters. You forgot that very important caveat, Hollywood Reporter. Gadot, meanwhile, is a divisive figure on social media due to the Israeli actress speaking out in support of her native country. Yeah, more on that on Monday, by the way, because that right there is an totally insane kettle of fish. It is deserving its own breakdown that I already have cooking for y'all. So look forward to that one, because, oh boy, next week, man, it's going to be a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows and a lot of Snow White, because this shit is going to be gold. But yes, just skipping ahead a little bit, okay? They've been going through the motions on Snow White, all but saying, oh, we need to get this over with, okay? An exhibition source told The Hollywood Reporter. An advanced sales cycle of less than 2 weeks just screams, we have zero faith in this thing. And it couldn't come at a worse point when the industry is just trying to limp along to May. Which, what Memorial Day long weekend is when Lilo and Stitch drops. And also the Thunderbolts. It's kind of crazy how Disney is just, pushing Lilo and Stitch and just going, hey guys, we got another Marvel film. It's also coming out around that same time. It'll be great. Disney insiders dispute this narrative, saying that there's always intended to hold back the film's big promotional push until the final few weeks, beginning when Zegler and Gadot presented together at the Oscars on March 2nd. Yeah, because that's traditionally what you did, because it wasn't like we got the first teaser for Lilo and Stitch, and I hate to harp on that, but it's just the obvious parallel that's out there. They had the big Super Bowl spot, not the most relevant film coming out in very quick succession in Snow White. They didn't get a big Super Bowl commercial or a big Super Bowl tie-in. Lilo and Stitch did. Let's just see for the family skewing film when it comes out in May. Is it going to be getting a scaled back red carpet? Did Mufasa, when it came out, did Little Mermaid? That was also a target of culture war attacks at the same time when they first announced a black Ariel and a Latino Snow White. Did Little Mermaid get that? Oh, right. No, it didn't. But these are just big problems, okay? One of the numerous big problems that this Snow White production has, okay? We haven't even gotten to the CGI Dwarves because they are hilarious. We haven't even gotten to the script that, by the way, when everybody starts to tear apart this for being as abysmally written as possible, don't forget who wrote this, okay? This is a Greta Gerwig script, by the way, okay? The mastermind behind the much applauded Barbie. Give that bitch her due when this eventually does come out, because she's a hack. She's always been a hack. I don't want her to be let off the hook for this, okay? Because Mark Webb, a reasonably talented actor who Disney just manages to just wring all of their talent and leave it at the door and then just put a husk of somebody out there in the director's chair. It's wild how they continue to do this. I mean, Sam Raimi did Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and outside of a couple of cool shots, he directed one of the most atrocious Marvel films of all time. Greta Gerwig wrote this script, by the way, so when there's the clunky dialogue and the overt girl bossing, you can thank the Barbie scribe on that one. But big problems aside, I got a couple of small ones as well. I'll see myself out. But Snow White slammed by Little Women LA guest star over the use of CGI dwarves. We were shut out. Oh no. Actress and Little Women LA guest star Ali Chapman called out Disney for replacing the 7 dwarves with CGI in the new live action film. No. Even if you wanted to make them cartoony, there was something that Hollywood used to do fairly regularly. Used to do makeup and prosthetics. I mean, as somebody who has been going back and forth between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings on weekends as my dinner and evening viewing, it's a really good example, right? Because Disney was also doing these live action remakes back in like the late 90s. Like, do you guys remember Glenn Close chewing the scenery in 101 Dalmatians? Okay, they actually had real Dalmatians, okay? They had real animals as well in that script, okay? If we're going to talk about writers as well, like that was a John Hughes film, by the way. Fantastic stuff. That film still holds up. Well, as, Cruella is like, anybody really barking up the tree? Again, I'll see myself out on that one for a follow-up on that, even though that ended up getting greenlit, but we haven't heard hide nor hair of that one. Funny how they're gonna, to try to tie in the misunderstood Cruella, or cruel devil, and turn her into the puppy-killing maniac that we've seen before. But then again, that's just an old story from the 60s that nobody really wants anymore, very evidently so. But yeah, just back to The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, like the orcs in The Lord of the Rings still look tremendous to this very day because they use practical. Now, the character designs in The Hobbit, I mean, those all look ass. Like, the dwarves still look good. I'm not a big fan of a bunch of the looks of the dwarves. They look far too cartoony, but if they were going to be in Snow White, they would totally make, like, Bomber, like, he definitely would fit in, like, who's the fat dwarf, okay? Like, he would totally be fine, okay? That would look 100%, like, even, what's his name? I think Nori or something like that. One of the non-characterized dwarves, because there's, like, 5 of them that really matter, and then just because there were 13 in the book, that's why they had 13, but outside of what? Dwalin, Ballin, Keely, Philly, Boffa gets a little bit, but outside of that, man, Nori, Dory, Ori, Biffa, I can't even remember the rest of them, man. And I've watched those films in different forms and fashion and reviews on a consistent basis since the end of last year. That just kind of tells you the expendability of them. But it's going to be more notable than this CGI monstrosity, because this is just going to be good comedy fodder for the next couple of weeks. But it's a movie that's supposed to have real dwarves. Instead, Disney chose to use CGI to replace actors and actresses that are little people that are very talented, Chapman told TMZ on Wednesday. Yeah, 100%, man. Like, do you think that that's an improvement? Like, you can make actors look that fantastical, okay? You can put the big old schnoz on them. You can give them goofy beards. Yeah, you can go ahead and give the Mad TV logo a little bit of work because that show's been canceled for a while. But yeah, man, you got Doc back there, and I guess Ken Stott, who was, Ballin from back in the cut. Like, he would have been perfect for that. Then again, you know, giving little people, kickables, however you want to refer to them as, giving them some work, or, I don't know, just using some creative camera techniques like Peter Jackson did with Lord of the Rings and with The Hobbit, lesser so to The Hobbit because he relied way too much on CGI. But forced perspective, proper integration with shots. It's like, you could do that, but no, it's just easier to make something for more money and even shitter. Crazy. McCarthy weighed in on the topic as well and similarly slammed Disney. All the little people out there that are freaking actors and actresses that love to have parts in this kind of movie, and everyone trying to get their dreams to come true. And it just seems like we're getting our dreams shut by Disney and Hollywood and Peter Dinklage. Chapman added, there's 7 roles right there. 7 little people that could have filled those roles, those tiny little shoes, okay, that ended up getting replaced by CGI computer-generated monstrosities. And unfortunately, we're shut out of that opportunity. Yeah, man, and we know the story of Peter Dinklage coming in and kicking out the stepladder from underneath those 7 actors because he was just being a vindictive asshole. But I said it before, like, this film has nothing going for it. There's nothing that you can point to going, okay, well, the script's going to be a disaster, but the main character could be fine. And it's like, well, it's Rachel Zegler. She hasn't really been known to act at all whatsoever, or in this case, it's like, yeah, you know, you might get a villain like Glenn Close's Cruella de Vil that is, you know, iconic and memorable because you have Gal Gadot and she's awful. She's awful in everything. Like, there's nothing going for this. Like, you could have had, kind of like with The Hobbit, okay? Because those movies are overlong, super bloated, but the reason that I like them, the characters that do get characterization, Thorin, Bilbo, hell, even Smaug, even though he is, you know, all CGI, those are excellent characters. By the way, Smaug's kind of stupid with a stupid, you know, cartoon kaiju chase through Erebor. Bard as well, Thranduil. I'm scared what might happen to him with the, you know, the Hunt for Gollum movie, and especially, you know, if he's going to get characterized in season 3 of Rings of Power. God, I don't want any of this. But I digress. There's nothing to look forward to with Snow White. You could have had something fun, like these actors and actresses had said before. There was 7 roles out there, and they could have done something cool with that. There could have been nothing but derision for everything in this film, but Disney could have got an easy win by going, but you know what? Some of the makeup on those dwarves was pretty good. And you know what? Hey, it was a pretty good performance by Sleepy, okay? It was pretty funny. There was a couple of things, there were a couple of scenes, a few cutaways that were pretty good. And Doc had a pretty strong moral compass. Grumpy was kind of funny. But no, you're not going to get any of that. It's just simply going to be trash. This is going to be an embarrassment for Disney, and I just can't wait to see how big or small that embarrassment is going to be. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.